Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'm Julia from Embrace Joy, and this is part 2 of our on-demand breathwork series. So a little recap of the first video. I went over kind of the mechanisms of breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, and what's called Ujjayi breath or ocean breath in yoga. So the practice of breathwork in yoga is called pranayama. So prana is the life force, the breath. And so we're kind of controlling it a little bit, regulating it maybe to kind of help our nervous system relax, kind of help bring us into a calm state. A lot of times breathwork is performed before meditation. And so it can be a really good way to kind of bring you into a very grounded, centered state. And now what I want to remind you is that any of these practices I'm going to show you, they are always simply suggestions. If anything does not feel right to you or is not working for you, feel free to skip it. If you have any medical conditions, if you're pregnant, please check with your doctor before you engage in breathwork practices. And so today we're going to talk about 3-part breathing, and I'm going to show you some motions that you can do with your body to kind of help you make that connection between the body and the breath before we practice just the breath work alone. So very simply put, imagine that you're coming to your seat here and you're going to segment your breath. And what that means is you're going to add pauses in the breath. And so a 3-part breath would be 3 pauses. So you would inhale, pause, inhale a little more, pause, inhale to the top, then exhale, pause, exhale a little more and pause, and exhale all the way. So to really kind of help this sink in a little more, we're going to add some movement to kind of solidify this concept of the 3-part breath. I'm going to show you some arm movements, maybe coming from a comfortable seated position. If you'd like to lay down, for this, you may prefer to put something underneath your back for some support. Feel free to do so. Maybe plant your feet on the floor and allow the knees to lift up towards the ceiling. Maybe bringing your arms down next to your side. So imagine that as you're breathing in, each time you lift your arms a little bit so that you're lifting your arms all the way overhead. And so make sure you have some space back there for your arms. Then when you release your arms, you'll do the same thing, kind of adding a segmented motion to this. So maybe if you'd like to just try the motion first without really adding breath, just kind of imagine lifting the arms overhead in 3 segments, and then bringing the arms back down to your side in 3 segments. So you can see here, this kind of slows down the movement. And it's the same thing with your breath. This slows down your breath, gives you a chance to kind of take even deeper breaths. So think maybe belly, chest, and throat. So kind of your 3 points where the breath is pausing. So when you're ready, you might like to add this motion to breath. So take a nice deep breath in, lift up about 1/3 of the way, pause, inhale a little more, lift up about halfway, and then inhale all the way. And go ahead and just take a nice exhale here. Long exhale. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath in as you're ready. And as we exhale, we're going to exhale in 3 parts, lifting the arms along with us. Maybe take another couple deep breaths here. And so you can also kind of try this motion with your legs. Maybe begin by hugging your knees up towards your chest. So gently hugging the knees in. And we're going to slowly lower the feet back to the floor, kind of pausing 3 times as we go through this motion. And finally, your feet come to the floor. Then you can try the same thing, lifting your knees towards your chest, adding 3 segments. Maybe try this again, 3 segments of movement. Coming back down, you can also try this with bridge pose. So feel free, if you would like, if you have a yoga block nearby, you can use a yoga block in bridge pose to provide engagement in the inner thighs to stabilize your hips. So you can try this with a yoga block or a firm pillow or a thick book. What we can try is lifting the hips, just the hips barely off the ground. Lift up a little more and then finally lift up all the way. And then slowly lower your hips down. Pausing 3 times. So trying that again. Inhale, slightly lift. Continue to inhale, lift a little more, and then pause at the top. Exhale, slowing down this motion. So when you're ready, we'll really add the breath into this motion. So maybe bringing your arms down by your side, kind of rooting your hands into the floor. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. We're going to try lifting into bridge pose. You can use a block in between your legs, or you can do it without. Either way is fine. Let's go ahead and take a nice deep breath. And as you're ready, begin to segment your inhale. Lift slightly. Inhale a little more, lift part way. Inhale all the way, lifting your hips up. And then begin to exhale. Go ahead and lower all the way down. Inhale to lift your hips all the way up to the top position. And then slowly exhale down, taking 3 pauses. This time we'll combine both of those movements. We're taking your first part of your inhalation, slightly lifting your hips. Inhale a little more. Inhale all the way. Now exhale. Maybe try this a couple more times, kind of on your own. Begin your segmented inhale, slowly lifting your hips to bridge. And exhale in 3 parts. And now maybe hugging your knees into your chest. Maybe gently rock from side to side. Maybe gently allow your knees to fall over to the right side for a moment. Kind of opening, maybe open your arms out to the sides. You can expand a little bit in your chest. Take a few deep breaths in a supine twist. And when you're ready, you can move your knees over to the left side. And twisting at your hips. As you can see, today's practice is pretty much a laying down practice, as I I like to teach this 3-part breath laying down. I find that it's a little bit more accessible to practice it laying down. And then as you become more practiced with breathwork or with pranayama, you can maybe try it seated. It may be a little bit more accessible laying down. So when you're ready, coming down into what's called a constructive rest pose, you can kind of let your knees fall together. Now you may like to have your hands on your belly, one hand on your chest, maybe have both hands on your belly, or maybe have both hands at your side. This is going to be kind of our breathwork portion here. So take a few breaths, just some nice steady breaths. And then as you're ready, we'll begin. If you'd like to bring your hands to your belly to make this connection. Maybe if it helps to visualize breathing into your belly, into your chest, into your throat, and then exhale. I invite you to try about 4 more rounds of segmented inhale, free exhale. Breathe to your belly and pause. Breathe to your chest and pause. Breathe all the way to the top and exhale. Just 2 more times, kind of on your own. Go ahead and take a moment to relax. And now when you breathe into, when you do this 3-part segmented inhale, it can be a little more energizing, kind of focusing on your inhalation. Doing this exhale, 3 parts, can be a little more calming. So doing them both together kind of creates a balance. And so we're going to go ahead and do a few rounds with just our exhale, and then I invite you to try combining both of them. So there may be some days where you find that the inhalation, the segmented inhale is more what you need. Some days it may be doing just the segmented exhale, and other days you may like to do both together. But just for practicing sake, we're going to try the exhalation by itself before we combine both of them together. So go ahead and take a nice deep breath in. And as you're ready to exhale, maybe imagine your breath traveling down your throat to your chest to your belly with a little pause. Nice deep breath in. Exhale. Throat, pause. Chest, pause. And belly. When you're ready, maybe try 3 more breaths with the segmented exhale, kind of on your own. And now, as you're ready, we'll go ahead and try both of those combined. Let's go ahead and take your inhale with your 3 pauses, maybe thinking belly, chest, and throat. Maybe visualizing the breath moving up that direction, and then perhaps visualize it coming down back to the belly as you exhale in 3 parts. So we'll begin. Inhale to the belly, pause. Inhale to your chest and pause. Inhale to your throat. Pause at the top. And send the breath back down with the exhale. Pause. Pause. Exhale fully. So I invite you to try a few of these if you want to on your own, and then we'll take a little time for Shavasana to kind of rest and let our bodies integrate our practice. So maybe coming with your hands to your belly again, or wherever is comfortable. Go ahead and try this a couple more times. I'll give us a couple of minutes for this. As you're ready, when you've finished your last round of 3-part breath, you can go ahead and maybe find a comfortable rhythm of breath. You're welcome to maybe stretch your arms overhead. Maybe, if you'd like, hug your knees to your chest. Maybe gently rock from side to side. I invite you to come into whatever resting pose is most supportive for you today. So you could stay laying on your back with your feet on the mat, or lay legs out long. You could lay on your belly, whatever is most comfortable. And so we're going to take just a couple of minutes for Shavasana, really a time for integration, even with our breathwork practice, kind of giving yourself time to rest. Sometimes it can be a little bit challenging even to begin this breathwork practice. So it's nice to honor your body with a little bit of rest. So it'll be just a couple of minutes and I will guide you out, or you're welcome to go ahead and stop the video and take as long as you need. You're welcome to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you like. However, if you would like to bring your practice to a close today, feel free to gently bring movement into the body, maybe gently opening your eyes, maybe slowly rolling over to your right or left side. And taking all the time that you need to come back up to center, to a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like to you. And maybe bringing hands to heart center when you arrive, acknowledging yourself, sending yourself gratitude for taking time to practice breathwork today. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Maybe sigh it out through the mouth. The light and love in me sees and honors the light and love in each of you. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.